Welcome to the Crimson Engine. My name is Rubidium. Today I wanted to talk about how making a web series transformed my career and really gave me the start I needed to make the films that I wanted to make. In 2013, I believe, I was living in New York City. I had a bunch of feature film scripts that I'd been pitching, and some were in various stages of development, some had been optioned. But I kept running into this sticking point of no one wanted me to direct them because I hadn't directed a feature before. No one wanted me to direct a feature because I'd never directed a feature before. And I didn't really want to sell the script to have someone else make, just because it was something that I'd put years of development into. This was two different scripts at the time. And I sort of felt like I was at an impasse. A lot of people, Kickstarter had just come out, and a couple of friends of mine had successful Kickstarter campaigns for $4,000 or $5,000 or $6,000, and I didn't really know what to think of that. I didn't know whether or not they were tapping into a larger audience or they were just monetizing the support in their family and friends and network that they already had. And it looked like a lot of work. Everyone I talked to said that Kickstarter was the hardest thing they'd ever done. I figured I didn't really have that much to lose. But I needed the right project. So I came up with this idea for The Silent City, which was a post-apocalyptic web series set in New York City and shot in the abandoned, forgotten spaces of New York. And I figured there was enough kind of networks out there, like people who are interested in post-apocalyptic, people who are interested in zombies, people who are interested in New York City, people that were interested in abandoned spaces. And I figured if I could mobilize those different kind of groups or fan bases, I could combine them into maybe enough people to raise $10,000 and shoot the web series. I chose a web series rather than a short film, even though it could easily have been made as one, because there's something nice about building a following for a web series. If you have a short film, you can enter it in festivals. At the time, you could put it on Vimeo or YouTube, and there had been some short films that had done really well. But I sort of felt like having something come out every 2 weeks or every month over a period of time, that each episode ended with sort of a cliffhanger, you could build on that excitement over time and release it over time. And it was much more organic because people would be signing up for continuing episodes. It would also be a great way to build a YouTube channel with a web series. So even if once the web series was ended, potentially I could do something with the YouTube channel afterwards. So here we are. I was also hoping that the web series could get optioned and turn into a TV show. In fact, that was probably my biggest hope, that someone would see it, it would prove its worth, and then it would get developed and go on Sci-Fi or go on one of the other cable networks. And we actually did get contacted by Sci-Fi, and I'll talk about that later. But I think there's more than a short film that can get adapted to a feature. If you have a premise for a show that can be sequential, something that people can like tune in with every week, something that is a long form storytelling, it's much easier than having to come up with a new idea for a feature film every year. You're basically just carrying that premise forward over the life of the web series and the TV show. So we were able to put this thing up on Kickstarter. The first couple of days, not much happened. And then I woke up one morning and I had like 100 emails from people who had subscribed. And it was, an amazing feeling. Probably one of the high points of my career, just because there was such instant validation to an idea that I'd had and something that I'd worked on. And yes, the Kickstarter was a lot of work. I think I was luckier than most in that I was able to tap into those different niches and get the word out really while the Kickstarter campaign was still there and I could just still get people's money. I learned a lot of lessons from Kickstarter. I'm definitely going to make a video about that one day. And it really, inspired me to go forwards. It really probably was the turning point in my career, in that, I knew I was going to do this for the rest of my life. After that happened and it was so well received on YouTube, I knew that this was the direction that I wanted to go, that I wasn't going to go and teach or do something else. that I was going to become a professional filmmaker, and if nothing else, just keep making seasons of Silent City. I really do think that creating a web series is an amazing, almost like a film school to go through, where you can take an idea, build a community around it, and make it real, deliver on that promise, build fans that will carry you through multiple projects. I mean, we've seen High Maintenance, Broad City, Insecure, all multiple web series that have gone on to become HBO or Comedy Central shows and make their creators rich and famous. So I think, if you really do have a concept and you want to bring it to a wider world, but you don't have a lot of resources, right? You can't get someone to write a $100,000 or $500,000 check and instantly make a full budget feature film, then a web series is a really great way to go, because you build your community as you grow your audience and sort of, you move forward together. I've actually distilled a lot of the lessons that I learned from the Kickstarter, the writing, the development, and then the launch of Silent City into a course that I'm going to teach. It's a one-day course. It's going to be at Sammy's Camera and Video here in LA on Saturday the 20th. Check the link below to get tickets. It's going to be a small class. We're going to keep it to about 10 people. And it's going to be all day. And I'm going to go through all of those things in much more detail than I can now, because I don't want to make an 8-hour YouTube video. So if you have an idea that you're thinking of turning into a web series, or you have a web series that you're trying to promote, and you're in LA and you're free next Saturday, check the link and sign up, and we can work on it together. And you can see how you can build what you do in a web series to a community, and potentially to a YouTube channel like this one, that I'm able to, connect to the industry on a much wider basis, and have a voice, and really use this to carry forward a whole bunch of projects that I want to do. It's going to be 10:30 to 4:30, Sammy's Camera. I hope to see you there.